السيدة الرئيسة، السادة الرؤساء.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Director General of UNESCO, Ms. Audrey Azoulay, Your Excellencies, heads of delegation, ladies and gentlemen, allow me first of all to address my thanks, the warmest possible thanks, to the Director General of UNESCO for her initiative in bringing together this high-level international meeting on education to have international mobilization for preparation of the post-COVID phase and the future of education more generally. I have been sent by my president, who is himself a teacher in the higher education system and has dedicated his life to transmitting knowledge to future generations. I myself am also a university professor, and it was very important to me to participate in this high-level meeting today because I am convinced of education's ability to transform peoples and societies. This conviction is all the more deeply rooted given the catastrophic consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic on education. Obviously, the very thoroughgoing changes that we have seen caused by the pandemic have slowed down the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, and particularly SDG 4 on quality education. Without mentioning, of course, the ever-widening gulf between low and middle-income countries, particularly on the African continent. The health crisis has cast light upon the fragility of educational systems in developing countries and on the digital and technological gap between countries, particularly concerning their management of the crisis and the continuity of education. Tunisia, like most other countries in the world, bore witness to a remarkable drop in the performance of the educational system because of this crisis, which made going back to school the first priority of the Tunisian government. Chair, perhaps the COVID-19 pandemic is an opportunity for all of us to know how to manage crises and reforms via a strengthening of international cohesion for education and an improvement of educational systems and the environmental context, particularly with the more marginalized sectors of society and special needs children, as well as children who are being discriminated against on the basis of their gender, ethnic group, or because of conflicts or wars. All investments that are made will be more profitable for humanity, much more the more we invest in our education systems and our future generations. I therefore hope that the international community will continue to deploy its efforts to mobilize even more resources so as to guarantee quality education and resilient education, which is able to face dangers and crises, particularly in fragile areas. Tunisia, which has always believed that education of good quality is the only guarantee of progress for society. And the only way to face up to extremism, fanaticism, and violence. Tunisia, from the very first years of its independence, considered that free education was a priority, respecting total equality between men and women. UNESCO's recommendation concerning openness is a decisive turning point for international commitment so as to facilitate access by all, without boundaries, to education and science. And today, I reiterate my country's concern, its need to make intelligent investments in education and to search for alternative sources of funding, encouraging partnerships between public and private sectors to invest in the future of our children. Tunisia reiterates its call upon the international community and all its component parts to support the efforts it is making domestically and the efforts being made by all developing countries in this area to respect commitments made by countries concerning development finance. By way of conclusion, I can only add my voice to all those already present here to express our support to the Paris Declaration, which invites investments to be made in education for the future of humanity and our planet. Thank you very much for your attention.